Nakobe Dean. We got to talk about Nakobe Dean. I'm watching the first round of the NFL draft. My worst fear becomes a reality. All NFL teams with an opportunity to draft Nakobe Dean pass on that opportunity. I want to give you guys a tip for the future, especially those of you in draft rooms, in these war rooms. If Nick Saban and Kirby Smart fight over a guy at the high school level, and that guy's not a character concern and fully delivers on that potential at the college level, chances are he's a first-round NFL draft pick. I know you can ding any guy you want to. That's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. If he's good enough for Nick Saban or Kirby Smart to build their defensive operation around, and believe me, Nakobe Dean was, he's good enough for your organization. There was a thing I used to think when I was growing up, that instances like this continue to prove wrong. I used to always think everyone who ran a professional football organization knew football, and that's a lie. Everyone who runs pro football organizations does not automatically know football. Case in point, some of the ones that are bad last year are going to be bad this year and next year and next year and the year after that. And so when I watch folks pass on Nakobe Dean, once upon a time I would have thought they must just know something I don't. No, it's not always the case. In fact, it could be the opposite. I know there are a lot of folks who are paid a lot of money to sit in corner offices who have never buckled a chin strap a day in their life. That's okay. You don't have to have played the game to understand the game. But there are some folks very, very rigid who believe the game's played on a chart, and it's not. So to all the sweater vests out there who chose to pass on Nakobe Dean because of a half inch here or 3/4 of an inch there, take your glasses off for a second. I just want to talk to you about a couple of things that still have a place in today's game. Instinct, football IQ, those things matter on the field, but they also matter in your line of work. So while you looked at Nakobe Dean's arms and you said, uh-oh, chart says they're not quite long enough, and you looked at his height and said, I know he could ride all the coasters at Six Flags, but it doesn't seem like he's quite tall enough for our organization. You take all your fractions and quarters and half inches, and I want to talk to you about two things that you fail miserably to be able to measure. One of them is shoulders, not width. What's on top of the shoulders? This thing right here. And then the other thing is chest, not width. This, the heart, what's inside the chest. What he possesses in those two areas infinitely make up for the fractions of inches that you dinged him for not having on your charts. The problem is, you screwed up in one night. Over the next decade, he's about to prove you wrong. He's going to pull the Gary Bertier, tackle for loss, point to the sideline, and he can reasonably do it with all 32 teams in that league because every one of them that had a chance passed on him.